Hey Salim, how are you? Hey cousin Nikki, what's
Hi,
up, boo? Erica, hi Erica.
hello. How are you guys?
Hey girl,
This is
hey.
my first live ever.
Really?
Yeah, so this is very new for me.
Thank you for doing it with us.
Cool. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Well, to everyone that is on our live, our few followers that we have right now, we have a couple of people that are joining in. We wanted to welcome you all to Walkie Chats, Good Chats. It is our premiere for our wonderful talkback session. And this talkback session has been designed to basically bridge the gap and kind of have a dialogue about how various departments work with one another within the television and film industry. And we are super excited to introduce our very first guest. Yay! So we are premiering with the extraordinary Erika Williams.
Oh,
Erika with a K. Don't
yes.
don't mess that up because it's not pretty. Erica is a set costumer, and I had the pleasure of working with her on Insecure Season 3. She is a dope, amazing person. She is very good at her job. Her credits go on, but what I know is that she's worked on Insecure, she's worked on Grownish, she's worked on Atlanta, and if you know the outfits on any of those shows, you know that she does not come to play. So, welcome her, Erika Williams. Erica, yay! How are you, girl?
I'm good. I am good. Tired, but good for the most
Aren't
part.
we all? Aren't we all? Definitely. So let's just start with everybody on the live and tell us a little bit more about Erika Williams.
Um, well, I have a passion in fashion, clearly. I just love making people feel good about themselves, and that starts with how you look. When you look good, you feel good, So I could tell that that's my strong. So I kind of ran in that path. It kind of happened organically because what would you do what would you do for life and if you didn't have to get a paycheck? And for me, it's still to be involved in clothes and fashion. I would do that without getting a check, regardless. So I just want to be able to make people feel good and it just it's the same thing at work. You know what I'm saying? I do that with my friends, I do that at work. So it's just a fun experience. It's a tiresome experience because call times, set times, it's a lot. But at the end of the day, the cohesiveness of actually looking at the video, the show, whatever, and you seeing your product and how good you did, you know what I'm saying? Like it really comes full circle, but there's a sacrifice for sure. So, and I'm from Los Angeles. I lived in Atlanta for like 11 years. I went to Clark, and then I did TV and film out there for a little bit, like back in the day when the game was out and all that. And then I decided to come back home because Atlanta has all those seasons, and
Yeah.
it's a
Well, that's amazing. Like, Erica, you don't seem like you have been in Atlanta. You don't seem old enough to be in Atlanta for 11 years. And you look fabulous. And I wanted to know, like, so from a fashion perspective and getting into the film industry, how did that path happen for you?
Well, once I graduated Clark, I did graduate with a theater arts degree. However, didn't really know what to do with it or where I wanted to go with that. And since I'm from LA, my dad used to be an actor producer when I was, a kid growing up. So I used to be on sets quite often. So after that experience, in my head, I never thought like, oh, I want to work on set. So I was a teacher at first. And then my friend, he was a PA. He started off as a PA. And I was like, didn't want to be at my job. I knew that there was a change coming. I just didn't know what it was. So, you do the vision boards, you read the books, and I'm telling my mom, like, I need to leave. And she's like, what? But you're making a good living. But it's like, it's not about that. It's like about your journey and what you gravitate towards. So my friend was like, I'm leaving for a week, and I need somebody in my spot to do the PA. So I was like, oh, this might be my chance to see if this is something I want to do. So he allowed me to take his spot for the week that he was gone. And honestly, ever since then, I kind of never looked back because it fit my lifestyle. I like that you're able to be a little bit more flexible with our job. I'm not at school, you have to take your test. There's so many things that you have to do. And as a teacher, it just wasn't for me. So the PA lifestyle came across, like it just happened on its own organically, and I just I stood there ever since. Like I just was working as a PA for like 2 years, like on the grind. That's a grind for real.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you, so day one on set, you quit your job, and it seems like it's a running thing where people have a passion and want to get into the film industry, so they just quit their job and impulsively jump into it. Do you feel like day one, week one, you were prepared for the job? Because
No.
sometimes, the reason why I ask is because sometimes the passion does wake you up in the morning, but you have to have the chops to actually do this job.
Yeah. I don't think I was prepared, because it's like some of you guys are writing a book about how to navigate on set and nobody really knows. That is like a game changer right there, because you're literally learning as you go.
Yeah.
You ask the questions, you have to be the person, like write stuff down. You really have to find your own. You have to find your own space, because no one's going to tell you, and there isn't a book, so I was just literally learning as I was going. I was making mistakes, but I was learning from my mistakes. You know what I mean? So it's just something that you, after so many times of doing it over and over, okay, I tried that last time, but this time may be better. You just, it's a revolving door like the entire time. So I don't think I was prepared, but I learned as I went,
Yeah. And then the real crazy thing about it is every production is different.
Yes.
So you did it right on production number 4, but production 7 don't even roll like that. So then it's just like back to stumbling. But the great thing about the book, and I mean, it's not really, it is a plug, but it's not really a plug because it's foundational.
It's very
Everybody, every house that is built on some form of foundation. And unfortunately, coming into the industry as a PA, there is no foundation. You either walk and fall on your face and get back up, or you fall and you're like, bro, it's not for me.
Yeah. And I think that, Erika, I want to ask you, as a PA, where did you start as a PA? What department was it that you started at as a PA?
Wardrobe.
Oh, good. So you started out where you wanted to really be.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. A lot of people don't necessarily know the path that they want to even be on when they step into this industry, and so they kind of have to navigate their way through. And so for you, it's a blessing that you were able to actually step into the wardrobe department and really be in the department that you have passion for. I know that a lot of people, they come into the AD department and they don't necessarily know exactly what route they want to take, but they find their way in somehow, some way. They step over to sound, or they step over to camera or costumes and things like that. So it's a blessing for you to step into what you really, really had a passion for.
Yeah.
That worked out. And then it's really a personality game, because like you said, we're going to different productions, different projects every time. You're meeting new people. So like me meeting you, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hold on to her, because you just never know the people that are being your path, because there may be some assholes. It may be some just really never know. So it's like having the personality to be able to navigate yourself through all these productions, because some people can't handle that, but then some people can. You know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm. So let's just get into the nuts and bolts. So you have been in the industry for how many years now?
Oh, I think like 10 now.
Girl, you 14. How you been in the game for
I am
have a baby face. So getting into it, what is your world like when you are working on an episodic, and what is your world like when you're working on a feature film?
Well, for us, since it's an episode, we get a script all the time. So that means we have to change the outfits, right? But if you have a feature, it's one script that they make changes to. So you kind of know the whole layout, and you could dress the people based on the layout, because, it's only 4 days in the script. So we got 4 changes, or, however it moves.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you a little bit more ease. But when it's episodic, like, oh, did you see the new episode? The new episode that came out, we're going to a football stadium, or we're going to gala, or something. It always changes, so you always have to be able to shift. So I prefer, honestly, to me, being on set, it's like the same thing. I just have to read the sides to know what's being expected for that day. And if you don't read the sides, you SOS. Because I need to know, like, okay, this actor is getting wet in this scene. So when the director's calling, like, okay, we need to get the clothes wet. And if I didn't read the sides, I would be sitting there like,
Right.
I need to be a step ahead, and I need to be prepared, because if not, the whole production could be waiting on costumes. You hear that a lot.
Yes.
don't want to be in that situation where anybody's waiting on me. So I make sure I'm prepared and I read the sides. I know what's going on. I ask the questions. Are there doubles? Like if something happens or if an actress spills something on them, I need to know, one, how to get out, or two, do we have another shirt? Because now we're holding camera because she has a big coffee stain on her shirt.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And you'll be like, Erica,
So working with, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Working on set and, you know, you have to work with the AD department to a certain capacity, very intimately, because we are the ones that kind of disseminate a lot of the information. How is your relationship, or how important is it for you to have a streamlined relationship with the assistant director's department, and as it relates to costumes? Good.
Oh, extremely. It's vital. It has to happen. Like there's some ADs or in the morning, usually I like to have a conversation and we go over the call sheet together, and I'm like, okay, there's gonna be 4 changes. Because sometimes they're unaware, they could be making plans and thinking the actress is going on to the next scene, but it's like, no, she actually has to go to her trailer, and it's a whole chain. So it's a line of communication and talking beforehand, so then people are prepared for that day. So I'm close with all the AD. You know, we have to have a good banter, a good relationship, because if not, it's horrible because you're there all day. One, you gotta be a step ahead. So it's like you guys have to be a step ahead together to be on the same page.
Yeah, and definitely you have to have a sharp first team PA also. So your first team PA should be reading their size. They should have a close relationship with the set costumer. Need to know who's going to get wired, and definitely there's going to be changes. So if there's going to be changes, what's happening with the wire? Is the actor traveling back with the wire? Do they have to travel ahead of time to get rewired? You know, you really have to be in tandem with the set costumer as a first team PA. On the other hand, at base camp, there's a lot of things that's happening. Is the actress coming or actor coming back to base camp? Are they changing on set? Then we ping pong back. Does the first team PA have a spot for the actress or actor to change? So let's talk about that a little bit. What is your workflow for the scenarios that I just pitched?
My workflow is depending on the time frame that we have, because you know when you guys do a lot of setups or the camera's turning around and things like that, I need to know my time frames, because if not, I need to make sure like, okay, well, if we have to travel back to base to get her dressed, and that the driving, the traffic, you just never know. So I make sure like, okay, maybe I should bring this with me, and if there needs to be a spot, then I talk to a PA on set like, hey, this actress needs to change here, but I need you to scout a location for us to go. So when time to change, we just not walking through the house, we don't know. So those things need to already be set up to make sure that it's an even flow process, because there's so many of us, it's so many departments. I like to make sure that as soon as I get to set or wherever I get to, I need to know where my set chair is going to be. I need to know where the clothes, my cart, I have to ask those questions, because if not, I'll be stumbling around. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And all of those things, all of those stumbles, those little stumbles take time, and all that time adds up. And one thing that we do in the AD department, we're really responsible for time, and time is money. And we all know that it costs a lot of money to shoot television or feature films and things of that nature. And so we want to mitigate as much time as it takes as possible. So one thing that I do know in the AD department that we really try our best to do is communicate to you guys, okay, this is the place where you can set up. This is the place where you can change. We will have a rehearsal. We'll shoot straight from rehearsal, so cast needs to travel 100%. Oh, cast will travel back. You know, so just knowing those things and communicating those things with the costumes department, let alone other departments, but the costumes department is very, very important, because it helps you with your day. It helps you be successful. And we all ultimately want to be successful in making our day, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So vital.
Yeah. So in costumes, how is it that you follow one person? Like, how is it designated which costumer follows which actress or actor?
Well, we have a conversation on the truck at the beginning of the show, like, okay, you may want to take the odd numbers, or I may take the even numbers, or I know this person because we worked on a show before, so I know how they like things, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this person. Or hey, I don't really care for this actor, so you got him, not me. Or, you know, it's just a conversation. And usually we do odd and evens. And if it flows naturally, because, you know, it's a personality thing. You know, there's a lot of people that's like, there's been times where they gave me a lot of characters. I'm like, but there's another set costume. They're like, yeah, but they don't care for them. And I'm just like, oh, well, that's putting a lot on my back. You know, I understand it. So it's a personality thing. You know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. Now, when it comes to like last looks, everyone knows last looks. Are you one of those costumers that always? Because I've seen two sides of last looks when it comes to set costumers. I've seen the side where once they're set, they don't want to bother them. And I don't know if it's a preference of the cast member itself or if it's a preference of the set costumer. Are you one of those costumers that always steps in and get your last looks? Or are you one of those ones that kind of like allows the cast member to just kind of be?
No, I step in every chance. I mean, if they're having something like, say it's a dress, you don't really have to mess with them. I don't mess with them if I don't have to. Like, I prefer not to. You know what I mean? Especially if they're going over their lines, or, you know, they may have pulled in many different directions. But if it's absolutely necessary, I would tell Mo, I'll be like, after we cut, I got to step in. I have to step in and fix this because you know, this is going on TV. Like, and my name is going to be here. And if I know that something's crooked or they look a mess, I have to say something. And that's my job. And the designer going to look at me like, Erika, you allowed this to go to camera and you didn't fix him? You know, I don't want those conversations. So I make sure when they say last looks, I'm there. Mm-hmm. And then I have a conversation with hair and makeup because, you know, everybody's touching them. So it's like, you go first. I'll fix them last because what I have to do is not as important. You know what I mean? It'll be quicker than hair. They may need the comb, they might need the hairspray and all that. So I give them their space, but I do make it known that I need my time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So from the AD department, what do you need personally and department-wise so you can do your job at the best of your capability? What do you need from a PA, and what do you need from an AD?
I need open lines of communication. Mm-hmm. So when things change, I need to know, or say like a PA goes with the actor, they go in a base camp, and I don't have any idea because it's not, they may not say it on the walkie, it may just be some personal thing, but I need to know when they're leaving because say they leave something behind. And if I don't know, then when she gets back to set, and it's like, okay, let's go to camera, but it's like, wait, where's that bracelet? She's like, oh, I left at the trailer. I need to know those things because if not, y'all gonna be waiting on me. Yeah. So kind of communication is just extremely vital because things change, accidents happen, you know, like so many things that change on a consistent basis. So I make sure that we talking all the time. And I don't care if, you know, we get on each other's nerves or whatever, but it has to happen. So we're in the know. We don't want to look like a deer in headlights ever, you know?
Right. And I feel like that's one of my pet peeves is not having enough information so that I can disseminate accordingly, especially when it comes to costumes and hair and makeup and things like that. And, you know, I feel like it's a two-way street as well. You know, when you guys need fittings and stuff like that, sometimes we'll get that request at the very last minute, like, oh, can I do a check fit? It's only gonna, and costumes is famous for this. Can I do a check fit? It's only gonna take 10 minutes. Oh, really? Is it gonna be a hard 10 minutes or is it gonna be a soft 10 minutes? Like, is it really 10 minutes? Because I'm getting ready to walk past the set. Right. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things like, oh no, it's gonna be a 10 minutes. It's gonna be, I promise it's gonna be 10 minutes. And it's never 10 minutes.
Never 10 minutes. I agree.
Don't believe the hype. It's never 10 minutes.
Gotta tell y'all something.
Yeah. But so is it truly that you have to do it at that moment in time, or you need to squeeze it in when you see the opportunity? Is someone, you know, have their thumb on your back that, you know, we need to get this done now? How is it working? We're just trying to get a little bit of insight about that.
Well, say one, cast actors, their body changes all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So say we did a fitting a week ahead of time, but we don't know what they're doing during that week. And you, as women, people may feel bloated, whatever. So it's like, or if we ordered something and just came in. So we need to make sure that whatever we just got that's new or the alterations that we're making fits and it's good, because if we're on set and that skirt is too small and it splits down the middle, if we would have had a fit earlier, we would have known, and then there would have been like an alteration that happened, so that to prevent something like that from happening. So the check fits are absolutely necessary for everyone, you know, but I do understand that when we're saying 3 minutes and we're like, yeah, 3 minutes, like, just you're gonna be knocking at the door all the time. But
Now,
yes,
setting cast rooms. Is there a level? Is there a rhyme or reason how you guys set cast rooms? Is it based on who's going to be seen first in the scenes, or is it, oh well, this is just my cast member? I'll set my own cast member's room. How do you guys, set those rooms? Walter said he got bloated. Walter, stop it. Drink some water, Walter.
How do we, well, there's a truck costumer on the truck. Like, if I have to be a set, their call time, say if I have to be on set at 6 or something, their call time might be like 4:42, those random times.
Yeah.
And their job is to set everything. And of course, when we come in, we do jump in and help. But as a truck costumer, they have to make sure that they set their costumes. And if it's 10 cast members, then it's like all hands on deck. Let's all set these rooms. Mm-hmm. But if it's one, then their job is to set it. And then we don't want to put more than one change in their room because they'll get confused. Yeah. Then it'll be action. Then we got to go through continuity, look at the photos, match it up. It's just too much. So we just try to set as the scene comes. And of course, enough time so that the costume is already there, because there are times where there's like, hey, my actor's here, but there's no clothes in her room. Erika, what's up? Like, oh, well, it's coming from, so let me make sure that it's on its way. You know what I mean? So it just all the time.
And speaking of continuity, when do you like to get your continuity pictures? Because I know some departments or some individuals, period, they tend to wait until the very last minute to get their continuity pictures. Sometimes I've been on productions where they've actually asked the base camp PA to help and get their continuity pictures because they're just not getting them in a certain time frame while they're either on set or when they step out of their trailer. How do you like to do your continuity pictures? And then where do you send your continuity pictures?
Well, I like to get my pictures after the designer last looks them, make sure it matches the fitting photo. If they're not there, send them a photo of, if they're not there, I'll send them a photo of the actors. You might be like, oh, that's cute, but roll up the sleeves. I roll up the sleeves and I'll send a picture. To me, that's not my continuity. After they get to set and we roll camera and it's actually on film, then I get my continuity pictures, because things can change beforehand. Like the designer can come on set and I already think I took my continuity pictures before we're actually rolling. And she's like, yeah, I took the jacket off or I took the necklace off because I didn't like. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, I got a continuity picture. So tomorrow I'm going to be looking for a necklace when I didn't realize that the designer made some changes before we went to camera. You see what I'm saying? So after we roll, that's when I like to get my pictures, and especially like during turnaround times, because if there's heels, jackets, they like to snatch it off like immediately after say cut. So I need to make sure I catch them before they go to their trailer, put on their slippers. I need to see you as you are on camera for the photo, because that helps me, Yeah. And then they go to our either sync on set. There's an app that we use to keep the continuity, so we upload it there. So if I don't come that day and somebody's coming for me, they can look at sync on set and see like, okay, this is what the actors looked like yesterday, so we're going back to that same day, so let's make sure it looks like that. And if we don't use sync on set, then we used to have a continuity book where we used to print out the pictures and actually put them in slots, and according to the day, the changes, and then we write our notes like 2 buttons open, sleeves rolled down, socks pulled up. These notes are vital because, continuity, you look at something on TV, like, dang, wasn't their sleeves down? Now they up. So that is a mistake on our part that needs to be followed through,
Yep. Yeah. So talk about elevation in fashion and the characters and how they're specifically Issa season 1 to Issa's outfit season 5. Yari's outfits on Blackish to how Yari is on Grownish. How excited are you that you see the growth or the elevation of a character and their style?
I think it's dope to actually witness, because not only are their outfits growing, who they are is growing, and their characters are growing. So you can see the elevation through clothing. You know what I mean? Like Yara probably wore overalls season 1 Grownish, but then you see her the last season, and she got on heels. She has a suit on, so you see the elevation. And of course, I'm always into clothes. So if I like something, of course, I'm hyping the actress up or actor up, because if it's dope, it's dope. You just gotta say what it is, you know? So just to be able to see the designer, and, you know, sometimes they ask our opinion, like, what do you think about that? I'm like, that's sick. I love that, because you want them to feel good, and you want to be honest, and you want to be yourself at the same time. So to watch the elevation is dope. And then I have to, like, if Issa is wearing a jacket or something, like there was this one jacket on this last episode that was itching her. Like, it was itching her. And I don't know if it was wool or something. So of course I'm like, okay, we need to get the seamstress or somebody tailor to set to see if she can, like, line it with something. Mm-hmm. Although the jacket was dope, but she's like, I don't ever want to see that jacket again. I took this thing because she was itching. It was itchy for her, but looking at it, it was dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So who on television now, their style is just like sick? Like, wow. She is walking down the street to LA or in New York right now because I can see that person.
Who on television?
Or on feature, on a film, or whose style do you really, you know, connect with?
Oh, I mean, my style, because I give tomboy, I give sexy. I'm all over the place. So I like a good tomboy look. I love a look classy look. And I like what Shiona did with Issa and her elevation, because I was right there. Your cute crop tops, wide leg pants. So honestly, because I don't watch too much television, I'm like reality TV a lot. But to be able to see the elevation growth, and I connect with Issa's style, because, you know, she might be chilling in a t-shirt and jeans, or you may see time in a full suit, you know. So I like the elevation and the change up.
Yeah.
So
let me talk to you really quick about, like, COVID. How has COVID changed the costumes department? Because we've all seen and had to deal with changes within all these different departments as it relates to COVID. And I know that I have actually witnessed certain changes as well when it has come to COVID in the costumes department. But how has that actually changed your department, in your department?
Like, different productions handle things differently. So there's been times on a production where instead of us setting their costume, like, we would go in there, I would hang the jeans up, but I would unbuckle them so it'd be easy for them to get in, or unbutton if it's a long sleeve button front, I will unbutton that shirt so it's easy for them, and they're not on in their trailer trying to unbutton it and do all that. But now we can't really be as more hands-on as we normally are. So we'll just place it in the garment bag and then keep it in their trailer, and it'll be their job to open it, because it's their hands and having the contact with it. So it's kind of like, be as much hands off as you can, but also do your job at the same time, you know, while wearing a mask, the walkie, the goggles. Goggles blow me. They blow me.
It's the shields for me. Like, these shields, like, I don't mind the goggles, but the shield, like, some productions require you to wear a shield. They don't particularly care for the goggles. And I'm just like, this shield is just a hit to my job.
I usually like, because it's an adjustment, it's something to get used to, especially when we never had to deal with this at all. Right. And COVID team usually is like on my butt a lot, because if I have to like, say I have to do a needle and thread or something, right, and just a quick niche, and if I have my goggles on and I have my mask on, this shit is fogging up. So it's like, I have a needle and thread, so I need to take these off so I can see. So, and then I'm looking at the corner of my eye, and the COVID people are looking at me. I'm looking at them like, what should I do? You know? So I haven't had the best relationship, because it's an adjustment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it definitely did change. And then now we have people, you know, the COVID team walking past, like, only 2 people can be in here in your trailer at a time. But it's like, we have so much to do, so many moving parts. It's like, trying to navigate that is always, we'll be forever figuring it out, honestly.
How has it affected the fittings? Because I know that fittings are now taking a little bit longer than normal, because now you have to sterilize or sanitize in between each fitting. How has that affected the fittings component?
For the most part, like, the fittings, like, we literally have to put on, like, surgical gowns, like, to do that. And then you have, of course, the mask and the shield. So it's like, sometimes if I can avoid a fitting, because you literally have to suit up like you're going in for surgery. Yeah. But it's a lot. It's a lot that you have to do. And especially like, oh, if you touch this, because usually, you know, we could take some things to the cleaners, we will be able to wash. But now it's like, oh, they touched it, we got to get a brand new. So everything has to come like brand new. And it's like, no one, you know, like you go to the store and you want to try on things. It may not work for this actress, but it may work for the next one. But like, it needs to be laundered. There's so many steps that need to happen now, on top of the steps I already have. So it's a lot.
Yeah. Now I'm going to transition over to set life. Talk about the joys of your set buddy. So for me, when I worked on the show, she was kind of my set buddy because she was base camp and I was first team. You know, first team is traveling, you know, I'm sitting in a bag, they need something for lunch. So we would communicate, you know, but it definitely made crappy shows better because those side texts out of the group text about your team members, it got me through. So talk to me about your set buddy and how the relationship that you guys have that help you get through these shows.
It's so important because, like I said, like it's a personality thing. So when you gel with somebody and you guys work well together, you want to hold on to that because you just never know what the next project is going to come at you. You know what I mean? So for me, I try, if they say, Erika, you, we're going to this next project, but do you have anybody in mind? I'm like, yep, I know somebody that's not crazy. She's sane. She does her job. Like, please, if you need me to call her, I will. You know, her and my other friend, Chris, in Atlanta, well, New York now, but we were friends in college. So we were able to be set partners on MacGyver in Atlanta. So it's like, we know each other. So it's like, hey, did you read the sides? You see that they got a belt here. Where we going? Like, you know, instead of throwing each other on the belt under the bus, we look out for each other. So if, say it's my character or her character on screen or something, I see something that's wrong with her outfit or something, I'm going to let her know because I would want her to do that for me and not like, oh, well, that's not my character. So, you know, I don't care about it.
I've seen that happen quite some times where it's like, one person is like, oh, well, this is my character, and it's like, oh, well, your cast member has this issue, this cast member, your cast member. Like, at the end of the day, it's all one team, one dream. We have to make our day. Right. So if you are even in the costumes department, help your fellow costumer. They may be 10-1. They may be doing whatever. They may be dealing with another cast member that they also have. So help your cast member. There's some dissension. Say that again. You still there?
Oh, hello?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, but I see that sometimes there's some level of dissension, and I'm like, I don't know if there's some stuff going on.
Probably.
Some cattiness going on behind the scenes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, sometimes you just got to leave things at home and just come in and get your job done. Yeah.
Right. Right. So what if,
especially all day?
Say again?
No, I'm saying especially if you're there all day. So it's like, have the conversation so we can make this process as easy it could be. Like, if you have a problem with me or something, let's go to the side. Let's squash this because we got another 11 hours to go. And I kind of want to do that in peace.
Exactly. Right. We all done been here. It's 3 a.m. I don't want to be here. But
be tired.
We made a decision to be here.
Yes.
So let's be cordial.
Yes.
So what advice would you give a green PA that you've seen on set that is interacting with both your department or any department? You pull this individual to the side and you like, look, this is the advice I want to give to you. What would that be?
I say be 10 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Ask questions, be aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? Because some people, since we do have a lot of downtime on set, like people like to make friends and like, you know, huddle. So they may miss certain things or certain cues. And that's fine to have a conversation and to, you know, let loose. We're there all day. But if you have no idea, if I'm asking you like, where's the actress? Because I need to do something before she goes back to set and you have no idea, that's a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to do my job too. So I would just say, ask the questions, be aware, and just be in the know. Just be in the know and do your thing, but have answers when I have questions. If not, say I'm gonna find out and not just like go to the wayside, because that's a problem. So I have, because I've been in the game so long, I have taken the liberty to pull some people aside that I'm very fond of and be like, hey, next, you can't move like this. Right. You know, and I take that sincerely because I would want somebody to help me out like that.
So Absolutely. And with that, let me ask you one last question. I want to know, like, working on all the productions, out of all the productions that you've worked on, fabulous names and all this stuff, one phenomenal experience that you say, like, this is what I do this for. Like, what is that experience?
Honestly, working with the actors and actresses, it's nice, you know, it's dope. That's what people dream of doing. But when I was able to dress like background, because you know, some people, they herd them like cattle sometimes, right? But if you take your time to actually dress somebody, or they didn't think they would look cute in this, and then you give them words of you know, positive messages, positive things, and you actually take their time, they're really appreciative of that. Like this one guy in Atlanta, like it was so cold and we were working at night, and he was a background, but he's a human just like we all are.
Right.
But you know, everybody can have coffee, or the background wasn't allowed to have where we were having coffee or something like that. So I snuck coffee to him because I thought, like, you know, it's cold. All he wants is coffee, and we're here at 3 a.m. So I did that on my behalf. Like the next day he came back and like got me like a gas card, and he was really appreciative. But that was something that was a nice gesture. And he said nobody's done that or like looked at them in that type of way. So I make sure I go out of my way to be nice to everybody. You know, of course, like I'm not going to be disrespected or anything, but once you treat someone with kindness, they give it back, you know? So I would say my greatest takeaway is like taking time out when it came to BG, and like dressing them, and how appreciative they are when it comes to that.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes BG gets treated kind of bad, and at the end of the day, like you said, they're human beings just like we are, and sometimes I see that they are herded like cattle, and sometimes treated a certain way that's not most respectful. So just to even do that and have that kind gesture, it's cold, you know. And if that's all they wanted, why can't we suffice that, you know? So. I mean, regular crew is going to make a cup of coffee and leave it on top of the generator or in the bathroom anyway, and not even drink it. Somebody actually needs it.
Yes,
right?
yes. Never short on coffee, people.
Never.
High alert. Name one phenomenal costume designer that you've worked with, and a costume designer that you aspire to work with in your future career.
Oh, honestly, I would say I've been blessed, right? And with the shows and everything I've been a part of. And being in Atlanta, I was working with quite a few African American designers, but the people in LA, some people are like, I've never worked with a Black designer before, and I'm like, that's kind of all I know, you know. And I've been lucky to be in those positions like Grownish, Insecure, all this, Ayana, Shiona, Michelle. These are all designers that you see from back in the day. Well, you know, some people are just starting in the industry, but like Michelle, she's done things for years. Ceci, there's so many different people, but I've been blessed to work with them. So the people I want to work with, I have. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would just say that, yeah. I've been blessed. I can say that for sure.
Ruth Carter on Coming to America too, and I was like, should I change my career? Because just to work with Ruth is just like, she is just such a energy and just like legendary, and just to stand next to her. And even though she called me Fatima, remember Fatima from set here in Atlanta?
Oh yeah.
She's like, Fatima, can you? I was like, I sure can. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
she's super. Tell Ruth that my name is not Fatima. So she's just an icon, just a legend. So
yeah.
Have you worked with her?
No, I actually, my friend Tandra, she works really close. She's like assistant costume designer for her. But we went to like the Tyrese concert right before COVID hit. That was the last concert I went to. So I went with Ruth, my friend Tanja, and this other girl. So I was able to be, you know, near her, talking to her and everything. And she does have a calm spirit. Like, she's so powerful with that. So luckily I was able to meet her, hang at the concert, and go backstage with her. And I felt like we were part of like Ruth's girls, Ruth's hot girl, something. Walking with her, you know, she's dope. She's a dope person.
Yeah, she definitely.
And you're dope as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to have this conversation and this talk back with us. We'll have plenty more talk backs and conversations with other department individuals, just to really just figure out like what this showcasing how we all work together.
Yeah.
And the need for us to really work together. A lot of people don't necessarily see the behind the scenes. They see the glitz and the glamour and things like that. Or they may see you on the red carpet designing someone or taking pictures with a cast member or someone like that. And they just think that, oh, well, this is all that you do. Or this is an amazing, like you work around some amazing people, but it's really hard work. It's a lot of rhyme and reason as to what we do and how we do those things. And being able to have a beautiful song, which is the production itself, and the dance movements, which is what we do when we're working with each other in different departments, it brings it all together and makes this beautiful, beautiful piece. And so just being able to have these talkback sessions and these conversations to really kind of see how does the AD department and the costumes department work with one another, or how does the AD department work with the grip department, and so on and so forth. You know, like having these conversations is very advantageous.
And you guys, what you guys are doing is so dope because it's necessary and it's going to help so many people. And I want to commend you guys because to actually have a thought, a process, and follow through is awesome. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing. It's so dope.
Thank you so much, E. E, if you had to ask 2 other people to be in your same spot right now and talk to us about their position on set and their tandem with the AD department, who would those 2 people be?
You in another department or in my department?
Any department.
I think it would be good to have a great conversation with somebody from props because they're dope and they're so necessary, you know, and just to know like you know, when they have to get like a beer bottle and they have to be artistic, like develop their own beer with, you know what I'm saying? Like the labeling. So all that is like the little things, they matter. So I would say somebody from props. I have a great friend. And then my friend Adam, he did Insecure and he's like one of the head grips. He's dope. He's dope.
Oh yeah, I know Adam.
Yeah, Adam. He had a baby.
He did?
Yeah.
And I saw Azra.
Huh?
I think I saw Azra on here. Thanks so for props.
Yes, Azra, if you're here, I miss her. And
yes, so she would actually mark where the wine stopped at on the glasses. I'm like, she don't play about her job.
And Denise has jumped on. Denise, don't be surprised if we call you and be like, hey, Denise, you want to talk about some makeup?
Well, I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for being our #1. This is our premiere show. Thank you so much, girl. We're going to get this East Coast, West Coast thing, this time thing better. I keep forgetting there's more than one coast. I'm like 6 p.m.
Right. Math in my head, I'm like, okay, so 3, 4, 5. Like.
I love you, girl. I hope to see you soon. And take care of yourself. Stay safe.
Bye, ladies.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And stay tuned for our next Walkie Chat, Good Chats with your hosts, Jadon and Monique. Bye. Bye.